Today we are interviewing Bhuren Patel, who is running in the Democratic primary on September 3rd for the 13th Norfolk seat in the state legislature, currently held by Denise Garlick. He is one of four candidates running in the Democratic primary. The other Democratic candidates are Joshua Tarski, Ken Rutnick, and Patrick Gatto. Welcome, Bhuren.
Thank you so much for having me on here. I appreciate it, Peter.
Why are you running for state rep?
That is a great question. This all started for me in the middle of COVID. Just as a quick background, I'm a pharmacist by profession. My wife and I own a couple of pharmacies in Massachusetts. The closest one here is Waltham, and we specialize in servicing individuals with physical and intellectual disabilities. So when Governor Baker started rolling out the vaccination program, his idea was mass vaccine sites. And for us working with these individuals, they're not made to go to these mass vaccination sites with large crowds, gatherings, noises, and the vulnerability with their disease states and such. So we were advocating for vaccines for these individuals to be served in their own homes, and we were hitting brick walls to get vaccines. It took a lot of advocacy for me to work with the group homes, their leadership, and build a partnership with them to advocate for vaccines, which we finally got. But every day it was a struggle to make them understand about this population. So that's when I almost tongue-in-cheek said to my wife that I should run for office just to change how things are inequitable. That's when the seed was first planted. And over the last 4 years, I have talked to other lawmakers in the state senators, state legislators, people in administration, just getting some ideas on how things work. And when Denise decided not to rerun, it was almost a no-brainer for me to say, this is my opportunity to make a difference in our community.
That's great. So you know about group homes. That's cool too.
Yes, thank you. They're my passion, and we as a pharmacy specialize in servicing those individuals, and we're one of the largest providers of pharmacy services to these individuals, and we understand their needs and their lack of services that are available to them from time to time, and the support.
What is your background and how has it prepared you to serve in the state legislature?
Again, all great questions, by the way. So just to give you a quick background, my name is Bhuren Patel. I was born and raised in India. I moved here to Boston in 1985 as a 17-year-old kid coming to college. Completely different time, no internet, no Amazon, you can name it, right? Put myself through school, went to Mass College of Pharmacy, became a registered licensed pharmacist in 1990. And then I worked for big box stores during the first 8 years of my career, realizing very quickly, and I rose through the ranks, that I didn't want to be in corporate because the type of customer service I was looking to provide wasn't what they were looking to do. It was more profit driven. So in 1999, I opened my own pharmacy in Brighton, Mass, with the full idea of servicing folks and individuals that were missed and had fallen through the cracks. We're talking about the elderly, we're talking about those with disabilities, we're talking about those single parents with lack of access. So I've been a small business operator for the last 25 years. Given my healthcare experience and what we do day to day for our clients is really the experience that someone needs to run for an office like this.
That's
like
cool.
I said, in the last 4 years, I have worked with a lot of legislators because they underpay for small businesses. Small businesses have struggles with taxes, especially post-COVID. How do you retain and keep employees when there's such a shortage? These are all difficulties that businesses face, and even large businesses. So I feel like with my healthcare experience and the ability to see the lack of equity in healthcare and small business, also coming from India compared to the other candidates, I bring a whole new different perspective. I didn't grow up here. I came here, but I've been living here most of my life. I have seen things that most of us living here don't have the opportunity to do so. So it changes your perspective.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me different, and that's what gives me the ability to work with others and share my perception of what really needs to be fixed.
What is the number one skill or experience you would bring to the state legislature?
Great question. So like I said, right, I have been advocating at the State House for these inequities for the disabled that I talked about recently. I have also been advocating for higher reimbursements for pharmacies because we are getting squeezed. I'm not sure if you've seen in the insurance world with pharmacy benefit managers, pharmacies in general are getting squeezed on reimbursement. You have heard in the news so many even big box stores like Walgreens are closing shop
Yeah.
and closing stores because of the lack of reimbursement.
Yeah.
It's difficult, right, to get meds. And even those pharmacies that are still open, lack of staff, people are not answering the phones. So it's becoming a challenge. So I have been trying to advocate state legislators to make a change in the state house to make things better. So I have worked with them. I have also asked the question for the last 4 years, what do you think of me running and what are the challenges that state legislators face? So I have gotten answers. I feel like I have done my homework to be able to take on those responsibilities, knowing what the job entails. With other experiences, I've seen what Steward Healthcare has done to Massachusetts in terms of reimbursement, just patient care, lack of primary care physicians, increased Medicare co-payments. Those are some of the healthcare challenges that I see. Living in Needham, I understand our challenges may be a little different than some other districts, but we have taxes going up for properties. How can our elderly afford these massive increase in taxes when they're on fixed income for a lot of them, right? What do we need to bring business here to supplement revenues for our towns that we are in a better position to not increase taxes all the time? So I have 3 kids one that graduated from the Needham public school system, and I have 2 that are in the school system. I've been actively involved to see about their education, and this is why parents move to towns like ours, because we want to make sure our kids get a good education. But there are things that we can help, not that we don't have a great system, but I want to enhance it. We want to be able to highlight other specifics in education. So I'm a team builder. I can't run a pharmacy. I can't work with customers and know what they want. And likewise, in our community, I have ideas, but it's important for me, just like I understand the values and needs of our customers, I want to understand the needs of our citizens to make sure that we are fulfilling what they need from us.
Bjorn, since you work with special needs adults at your place, I'm going to an event with my dad next week called ADA Day, called the Americans with Disabilities Act Day at City Hall Plaza in Boston. And I was wondering if you know about it.
I did not know about it, but I would love to join as soon as we're off the call. I'm going to look it up and I will try to make it that day.
As state representative, what would be the most important issues you would work on?
Again, all very good questions. So 2 things come to mind. One is workforce development. We need to be able to get more people to come to work in the state of Massachusetts, right? We've lost so many adults between the ages of 25 and 40 over especially post-COVID, that have drained the system of over $3 billion. There was just a recent article last week, $3 billion in lost revenue. How do we make up for that revenue? But more importantly, how do we get younger individuals, their families, to stay here to help contribute to our society and our state? So that is a very important factor, especially when we look at how many more elderly are retiring or looking to retire every year. How are we going to make up for that workforce and the revenues that come in? So I want to be able to work on that. The other pieces that we talked about was education, housing. How do we keep things affordable, which is also part of the reason people are leaving for southern states like North Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas, where the mass exoduses mostly happened with. So those are some of the other issues I want to work on. And healthcare. We have some of the best healthcare in the country, let alone the world, in our state. Why are we still having problems getting access, equal access to our folks? I mean, so many hospitals and doctors are saying, we don't want any new patients because they don't have enough time. We have a system that we can work with to make it better.
How familiar are you with Medfield and the other towns in the 13th Norfolk District?
Obviously, Needham is my backyard because we live here. We've lived here for the last 20 years. I have some friends in Dover and Medfield. A good friend of mine and colleague lives in Medfield. We actually come to Medfield to an awesome bagel shop that we like to frequent. So I am familiar. I have friends there. I actually recently was invited to get a tour of the art center up at the old Medfield Hospital. Beautiful spot. I have learned to work with them, so I'm looking forward to continuing to support that art center there, as well as the new development. I've actually reached out to the construction company that got the contract to see how I can understand their needs on when the development actually starts to happen and how I can help at the state level. So I'm getting myself to know the Medfield individuals and families on what we need to do for Medfield.
What is your experience serving people with disabilities, and how would your experience influence your priorities in the state legislature?
So just to bring our current state representative Denise Garlick into the conversation, Denise and I share a lot of similarities. She's a healthcare professional, a nurse as a professional. I'm a pharmacist. She has somebody in the family with disabilities. My extended family of customers is folks with disabilities. When I spoke to one of the CEOs of an agency that services folks with disabilities, she said you would be a good replacement at the state level because you understand our needs and the needs of our clients. And as you look at the State House currently, there are not that many legislators that understand and appreciate the needs of the disabled clients. So I want to be that voice to continue Denise's mission at that level to bring and continue to bring advocacy for these individuals.
Do you have any endorsements?
Not as of yet. I have had the opportunity to fill out applications from organizations such as Progressive Massachusetts, Reproductive Equity for Women Now, the Mass Animals Shelters Association. So I have not officially gotten any of the endorsements yet, but these are some of the endorsements that we've been working on.
What are your favorite activities outside of work?
I like to stay physically fit, so I spend some time exercising. I have a beautiful family, my wife and 3 kids. I enjoy spending time with them outside of work. They are heavily involved in dancing and sports, so I attend all of their events when we can. We love the Boston local sports team, so we do go to the Bruins and Patriots games quite a bit. So, and spending time with friends and family. We love to throw parties and love to have people over. We love to host and getting to know them. Life's too short not to have fun. So I'm a very optimistic person, and I just like to enjoy to laugh and live.
That's great. Can you summarize why you should be elected state representative?
Once again, what brought me to this point was the inequities in healthcare that I saw at the state level in terms of access. Since then, I have expanded on looking into what needs to be changed and fixed at the state level. As Jack Reed, the senator from Rhode Island, said, everybody loves progress, but nobody likes change. I want to be that change to help us progress to be a better state, a better district, right? What we had 20 years ago when I moved to our district is completely different than what we have today. And it will continue to change. I want to make sure we're consistent with adapting to the new rules, regulations, demographics, technology, and make sure that our district is well served. I have the experience from small business to healthcare to building consensus with others to make things happen. And I want to be able to provide those same services to our district. One thing more importantly, I wanted to make clear, and it is on my website, if I do get elected and am honored to serve the district, 100% of my salary as a state representative is going to be donated to charity.
That's great.
Thank you. And I just want to make it clear, I'm doing this because I'm passionate. I don't have any self-fulfillment that I'm looking for besides serving the district in a great capacity. Also, one more thing, Peter, I just have to mention, I'm a write-in candidate, so everybody would have to write in my name on the ballot since I'm not officially on the ballot because of a mess up at the town hall.
We wish to thank Bhuren for appearing on this episode of Special Times and congratulate him on seeking to serve as a state representative. We wish him the best of luck in his campaign. Please remember to vote in the primary on September 3rd. Stay tuned for future episodes of Special Times where we interview each of the candidates for the 13th Norfolk State Representative seat. Goodbye.